Hello and welcome here on the Tunze YouTube channel. Last week we have shown you Recife at home here in France. We made actually a very nice video. If you have missed that, we will link it down in the description for you. It's awesome. It's awesome how they cultivate corals here. Really, this place is the largest aquaculture coral farm in Europe actually. He explained us a lot of details, but it didn't stop there. They also have started breeding fish, and this is an amazing opportunity here. So stay tuned, this video will be awesome. Guillaume is an expert. How did you become expert in fish breeding, by the way?
Well, I am not the expert in fish breeding, but I handle the water quality here.
Yeah.
But I have a team actually that is doing this for many years, so they are the experts in this part of the company.
Okay. Guillaume is leading this team here. Guillaume is responsible for all this. You get all the details from the experts. So let's go. Where does it all start?
Okay, so of course it has to start with the broodstock.
Yeah.
So we have different systems. In the 5-meter reef tank we saw on the previous videos, there is also some groups of fish that are breeding. Fish use different methods. Some of them breed and they just produce the eggs in the water column, and that's it. Then they just are on their own.
Yeah.
So we have to capture them to then use the eggs to make them hatch and grow the fish. Some of them just breed and they glue the eggs on the surface, like the clownfish and all of the damselfish. But there is also some fish that use some caves, for example, like the pseudochromis, etc. We use PVC tubes, and they go in and they produce a big bowl of eggs and just take care of them until they hatch. Actually, they really help out in the hatching because the male is biting the eggs to facilitate the exiting of the baby fish. And so we have different systems. Some broodstock are in the coral tanks, and some of them are here in a system just made for it. We can have a look now. These systems are designed to have a big water height because, as we talked in the previous video, some species need the water height to parite and then produce the eggs. The system is really new, so it's not full yet, but we are already making couples of different species. Here we have some centropige multicolor. They are pretty shy, so I don't know if it will be very easy to spot, but here we have a couple of centropige loriculus. All of the angels and the surgeonfish is really hard, but we are having some success with a few species of dwarf angels actually. We will see small babies that just get out of the larvae system later. On these tanks on top of them, we have smaller volumes for smaller fish. So we have all of the clownfish couples, and also, like some gobies, blennies, like these Meacanthus.
Are those Okinawa? No.
Yes, we are breeding these as well. We will be able to see young fish from them. Some other species of gobies, like the Cryptocentrus. And actually, you can see here we have some eggs from these clownfish on the side of the pot here. So every day the team just have a look around. And if there is some eggs being laid, we just write down the date so we know when they are going to hatch. Because in the big systems we can put different clutch of eggs at the same time to reduce the amount of space we use. Because if the data are the same, even if it's different species of clownfish, for example, or even different species of fish completely different, if the different stages of the larvae development are around the same, you can raise them together, no problem. Here are some more clownfish, maybe if you want to film different more. This system also has some broodstock, but it's just a much bigger tank. Some Entias pleurothenia, because these, there is no glass, so they don't see us too much. So they eat very well, but they are a little bit more shy than just a reef tank in the middle of your living room. Here, the same. There is different species of mandarin fish and centropige, same with the last one. Okay, now we can see where we raise the larvae of the fish. So there is 2 different systems. We will have a look. This system here is independent fish raising from the eggs to when they are big enough to be fished out and put into the grow-out system. So this one is not connected to any reefs, no corals or etc. But there is the impact of the natural light, which can also have an impact on different processes. You can see here, for example, it's a very new batch that is starting to grow. So at the beginning we use what is called mesocosm. So we use a lot of different phytoplanktons with live prey. The fish, for the first stages of their life, they need this kind of ecosystem. I don't know if we go into very specific details because I can speak for hours, but if there is no algae, there is too much light going in, and the fish, they don't like that because they can see too many prey at the same time and they don't know which one to choose, which one is far, which one is close, because the vision is not so developed yet. And so they have a lot of trouble choosing the prey they want to eat, and they would die. So for the first stages, we have to put some microalgae in, which serve different purposes, so they don't see too many prey at the same time, as well as just the nutrition for the live prey to keep them full of nutrients. Here right now it's some Lismata brudemani. You can see another stage here, which is actually really close to metamorphosis. It depends on the size of the fish at the hatching, because some of them, like the dwarf angels and stuff like that, the larvae is extremely small, so you have to go by copepods to raise them for the first stages, and then you pass by different type of prey, the rotifers and then artemia, and then you can feed them with pellet food. But for example, the clownfish, which is relatively easy to breed, you don't have to go by the copepods because the larvae has already a big enough mouth to eat larger prey item like already rotifers. Here, if you can just film the young larvae that are not very colored yet. This is some Pseudochromis friedmani. We can see some that are already juveniles. So you can see now they have their color. So they are bright purple, obviously.
Wow.
It's the same fish as we just saw before, but the previous stages, because before the final metamorphosis, they don't have any color. They are just translucent. And at the final stage, in a few hours, they go from completely translucent to bright purple.
Wow.
Really impressive. Yeah. And there is also a few Flavivertex, yes, the blue and the yellow ones with it. As I talked before, some species that lay eggs in big bowls where the parents are taking care of them. That's the PVC pipe I have in my coral systems, and when we see there is eggs, we just take the pipe with the parents because they really facilitate the exit of the larvae. We put them here already in the system where we are going to raise the larvae, and when the egg hatch, we just take the broodstock back and put them back into their reef tank. Here we have to be really careful because it's a pretty sensitive fish, but there is some dwarf angels, some trapeze. Okay, we can see a little bit of prey real quick. So here there is the artemia, rotifers here. And here the temperature is much better because that's where we are producing the phytoplankton. So we have two different species, Nanochropsis here and actually somewhere else because it's very hard to not contaminate, so we don't put them at the same place with the Theisochrys. Here we have some more prey, so these two systems are for raising copepods, which are very essential for a lot of species, especially the hardest one, which have a larvae size that is much smaller.
Ooh.
So here is the larvae system that is connected to the 5-meter reef tank. So here there could be an impact with the corals in the same water quality. You can look here, there is some damselfish, the Chrysiptera parasima, bright blue, already metamorphosis, so very soon we are going to be able to fish them out and put them in the grow-out system. Here we are already taking out all of the central fish, so there is not much left, but we also produce some mandarin fish in the same system as the dwarf angels. We have some more into other systems because they don't need that much. Here's some clownfish, very classic, but always cool to see at this size. You have to really have sharp eyes because it's super small. You can see on the sides of the tank, all of the tiny dots here is mandarin fish. Here there is some more clownfish, but at previous stages which are not metamorphosized yet. And here some more mandarin fish, but still in the water column, so a bit easier to see. Okay, so now that's it for the larvae systems. Now we can see fish that are already in the growout system, so already metamorphosized, and that we just want to make them grow a little bit more before being able to sell it. Okay, so this is our growout system, which is only made to grow some fish from when we take them out from the larvae system to the size that we are able to sell. So we sell directly to the end customer, of course, with a Recife shop. But when you are producing like that, you produce big amounts to be able to have your money back, because it's a lot of investments in space, in time, etc. So we also sell to wholesalers in Germany, in Holland, everywhere. Here, a few filefish, Eptasia eating filefish, the Acrictis tomentosus. We have some clownfish here. Some more clownfish here, but regular ocellaris. And on the other side, it's some more filefish, but a bit smaller size. There is some close to the outlet.
Sweet.
And then we have a different type of systems, because this kind of tanks is good for all of the pelagic fish, which take a lot of space in the water column. But for example, the mandarin fish that we produce quite a lot as well, they need floor space more than water height. So we have a system a little bit different for these, because they need just space on the floor, but not like 1 meter height, it's just useless. So here we have the most difficult fish we succeeded with so far, which is some centropish flavissima, here at the back. Here we have some shrimps, because same principle as with mandarin fish, shrimps, when they molt and their body is still very soft, they are cannibalistic, so they will eat each other, so you cannot put too many of them at once, and the more space and hiding there is, the better. The cutest fish you can find is the mandarin fish.
Oh no!
So here we have 3 different species actually. Mixed together. There is some Synchiropus picturatus, some Ocellatus, and Splendidus. Maybe you can see one Ocellatus here, which is all white, close to the side. And downstairs you have same fish, but a few months later. It's not the biggest fish, adult size I mean, but it takes a lot of time to grow. Here at the back you have some Gobiodon okinawe, the yellow gobies.
That's awesome.
Here's some more mandarin fish, very tiny. And that's it. We've seen all of our system for the captive breeding program. We are always trying new species, so we have first to make good couples of group or group depending on the species. Some of them change sex, some of them have their sex defined at the birth, but it's sometimes very hard to make the difference between males and females, so it can be for some species really hard, but that's what we are trying. Then you just capture the eggs and try over and over until you find what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
May I ask you a strategic question? Why are you doing this? Is it more for a business model or a sustainability vision, or?
Well, it's primary sustainability, because for now it's not the most profitable activity.
So you're okay. Wow.
It takes a lot of time and effort. You see all of the systems we had to build to be able to have what we need for all of the different stages, all of the manpower just to take care of all of these, all of the praise and everything. It costs money. So that's also a vision for the future, but it's same principle as we do with corals. It's ethical question. And also we think that in the future, seeing how the hobby evolves, there will be more and more bans of wild stuff coming in Europe, especially because we have the stricter laws. So I think some of the destinations with the wild fish will be banned in the future.
Yeah.
So if we just have a step forward and already started to breed fish in captivity, we can still pursue with the hobby we are so passionate about sustainability.
Wow.
And without relying on the wild animals.
So you can be very proud of what you are doing here. Our hobby isn't sustainable at all, but you make it more sustainable, and you're working on a project here that a lot of are not daring to. And I'm quite sure that a lot of followers and a lot of people watching this video are now very proud of knowing you and seeing what you're actually doing here. Because this is very, very something special. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It means a lot because, it's a lot of effort and we are moving in the right direction. We are having more and more success, but it's still, a lot of work and needs to develop even more. And when you start some new things like that, you have to make mistakes to learn from them and move forward. So now we moved past the first types of mistakes we could make.
Yeah.
We are having more and more success. Some species we are producing. Now it's really reliable. Every time we start a batch, we use the same conditions we made the times we succeeded, and it works. So that's really good signs. But we are hoping we can still continue to have a lot more different species and different types of fish to breed.
A lot of things you're doing here is more like you're reading in the books, or is it more like try and error and you...
It's a lot more trial and error. There is not much information first. Second, a lot of species have never been bred in captivity, so there is just no data. Wow. And then lastly, people who are succeeding, most of them want to keep their secret.
Yes.
So they are giving some insights, but usually it's not super detailed.
Yeah.
And also it's super variable depending on the systems and many different factors. For example, my team who is taking care of this, they used to talk with the staff at Biota. They were very surprised because different species were easy for them and different species were hard for them. For both of them, it was the opposite species for both of them because they just don't use the same techniques. It's not in the same place in the world, the same water quality, many different factors. And even just the time it takes for larvae to hatch up to the final metamorphosis can vary quite a lot depending on many factors, the quality of the food, the amount of food, the temperature, a lot of different parameters. So you can have some basis for species, but you have to have the trial and error to just succeed where you are with what you have.
So you most likely focus on some species and bring it to a point where it's, let's say, profitable or sustainable for you as well to do it.
Yeah. Because a clownfish is just something you can sell thousands of.
Yeah.
Because everybody has clownfish in their tank. The stuff that are used for control of pests, like the Voglemani, the filefish, these types of animals are really profitable, but like the dwarf angels and stuff are not really because they use a lot of copepods, which is really expensive to produce. It takes a very long time and it's really hard to make big batch. If you have like 30 adult size at the end, it's already a great result.
Okay, wow. So how can people support you doing this?
Well, just purchasing from the company, as it's a big company, which we do everything. So just the quality calls. We also sell our captive bred fish on our website, and that's it.
And can people also, come here and buy their?
Yes, we are open every Saturday. Other than that, all the rest of the week we can be open for you, but you have to make an appointment because we have so much stuff going on.
Oh, yes.
We cannot just stay open all week long. But there is no problem if you want to have some time to look at the corals, buy some stuff. No problem at all. Just make an appointment.
Wow.
And other than that, the website is recifatome.com. Like this. We make updates for fish, inverts and corals every Friday at 6 p.m. every week.
Now you know how to support the guys here. This was an amazing tour. I cannot thank you enough for giving us all these insights, for sharing your knowledge. It is something special that I have just seen and I'm very thankful for this. And I can tell you, you guys are making all this possible because you are supporting the Tandes company, the Tunze company. You are supporting me. This makes all this possible, and I'm thankful to bring you to these places. So we will continue our tour here. We now will go into the gear, into the products. So stay tuned for the next video and see you on next Friday. Bye.
Bye.